I'm Elisa Mortensen, and this is Undo Redo.
I have been thinking about how we reset for so long. I want you to feel like you got out of this what you came here for and what you had hoped for. I'm not asking you to do any more in your life today. I know what's happening in the world nowadays and what's happening in our lives with our schedules and the busyness. We want to take care of our homes and our relationships and our families and on and on and on. The lists are endless. We never find enough time in the day to do everything that we need. So the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is something else to add to your list of tasks because you're already exhausted. And this is why it's so perfect. I've become an expert in how can I do more? How can I maximize my time? And it turns out doing less is actually what got me there. I was coaching yesterday and we noticed that if you got up, did the sauna and the red light therapy, the stretching and the workouts, all the breathing and the meditation and the spiritual study, when do you fit that in? When do you sleep for the 8 hours and then make meals plus add on everything that everybody else needs from you? I don't do coaching in a way that asks you to do more, ask you to work within these little micro moments. I can't wait to teach you and to show you these little moments. And the reason I'm calling it a reset is because that's what I truly believe it is. And that's what I tap into with myself when I feel the tension. So let's just do a little activity because I'm more about experience. I don't want to pour all the knowledge into you. I actually want you to go there. So take 2 double breaths in right now and then exhale super slow. Feel your jaw release. Notice your forehead. Relax your neck, your arms. How much was just in your face and shoulders? Isn't that amazing? This isn't asking you to do more. That literally is a way to show you that I'm going to ask you to do less. It's a letting go and having a breakthrough of some sort of your own so you can break into something new, right? We're going to hit some boundaries. We're going to feel that release. We're going to let go of the stress. We're going to notice it first. Really, you didn't notice it until you let it go. And in this way, it actually works for us. I'm going to keep a close track on time too, so I don't waste any of yours. If we can acknowledge all the things that we manage our house and that we manage the things outside of us, the laundry and the even just the maintenance on the car. Think of how deep this goes. We manage so many things. It spills over. That stress spills over into our relationships. That stress spills over into our lives. Our mind and our bodies are connected. So when we feel the stress, when we feel the heaviness of everything that's going on around, watching the news. My husband watches a lot of news lately, and even just being around the things that are happening, I can feel the heaviness of it. I'm doing what I can to reset myself because when my brain gets a hold of it, it invites it into my body and all of it's connected. You can't do one without the other. We live in a world where there are energy leaks constantly, where we're not maintaining, we're constantly losing. And this isn't a character flaw. If you feel overwhelmed, there's nothing you're doing wrong. If you feel agitated inside, if you feel anxious and you don't know why you can't show up, there's nothing wrong with you, first of all. I want to assure you that feeling anxious and overwhelmed and like you can't get yourself to do what you really want to do, this is totally normal, especially now, this day and age. It's just a biological response that we have to be tense. The reason that vacations don't work, we come home with the tension, is because what was inside of you went on that vacation too. And there wasn't a system reboot. There wasn't a reset. You didn't get some override magically while you were on your cruise or at the beach or in Disneyland. You make something happen inside of you that does a system override. Otherwise, we come back to the same system. We function the exact same way. We wonder, why can't we feel like we felt when we were on vacation? Because we're the same person when we get back. You escape, pick up your phone and scroll, or go eat some food to numb it. Let's acknowledge we're all running on empty and we're not sure what to do about it. And there's more to be done than we have hours in the day. How do we reset? It's in the micro moments. If you hear one thing at all today, the industry will tell you it's the journal writing. Industry will tell you it's the meditation. And I promise you it's these little micro moments. It's not adding a single task to your plate. It's just asking your brain to check in with yourself. A somatic overload in 2026 means our brains are redlining and our bodies are there too. So if your brains are redlining and your body's joining that redlining because the brain and the body are instantly connected, we take on tense thinking and overwhelm and what we do next and kind of this like rushed, our bodies feel rushed. Again, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just that you feel the spinning. Like that's your biology's job. Is if something is dangerous and something needs our attention, then we've got to jump in. Sometimes we don't like our day so much it feels really urgent. We should just go crown stuff in our faces. What if we just go eat it? Then we'll feel better because it feels like there's just this overload. It's just your biology doing its job because we feel overwhelmed. So that's my purpose in not asking you to do anymore. Not asking you to do anything other than just notice it, to check in with it. Tell yourself, I'm not broken. I feel this because my mind is going there. Let's talk about what a reset really is. If you go get a massage and you come back, and the first thing you do is notice all the crazy crap that's going on in the house, and somebody attacks you as you walk in the door, and you thought the massage would reset you. You're like, I need to feel better. I've had a bad week. I'm just going to go get a massage. Here I go. Great, go get a massage. But the reset isn't happening while you're in the massage room getting those muscles relaxed unless the system inside of you is having some sort of an overhaul or an override. We think the reset is from the massage. We think the reset is from the organization of the home. We think the reset is something outside of us, like that we can calm our atmosphere or run into the woods and then we'll be calm. Looks like there's some things in the chat. That's exciting. What do you mean by redlining? I had a couple of things come to mind. Tell me what you had in mind. Redlining to me just means we're running in the red, like the RPMs, we're kind of revving at this speed that's agitating with a higher little, like annoying frequency where our bodies are buzzing. It doesn't feel calm. That's what I would mean by redlining. Tell me what you think redlining means, because I would love to hear what you had in mind too. So if it feels noisy and loud in your head, it's a perfect time to just notice and have these little micro resets. Once I tell you all of this information and you leave this class, it's going to be on your mind. I feel agitated. This is my red flag. I'm redlining. I'm revving at too high of RPM. I have this buzz about me of like, can't get it all done and got to do this next thing. And the kids are coming up to me. Plus, this needs attention and this needs attention. And we're like adding it all onto ourselves with more to do. And I'm offering you that it's doing less. That's the answer. There are things that we think we need to do that don't really necessarily need to happen, like have ourselves in that agitated state. It doesn't really need to happen in order for us to get things done. Or in order for us to have a conversation, we don't have to pick a fight with them. Right? If we feel agitated, we steady ourselves first, just in that little tiny moment, and then we have a conversation. See, it's not about what you're saying. It's about you being steady and clear when you are saying it. So if you feel agitation, you don't get louder and louder. Like, see, now I got your attention, kids. Oh, did I get your attention? You're yelling at them from this agitated state. Now they know you're serious. No, they can know you're serious. There's ways to say it without getting to that point. And the reason I say that it's 60 seconds, most emotions take about 90 seconds to get through. So let's take you there. Let's give you some examples. There's a phrase that I used. It's kind of funny because I say, wait, hold up, rewind. Let's just like, let's rewind. This isn't who I want to be. And can we start over? And my teenager and my husband are looking at me like, what? We're in the middle of yelling at each other. What? You want to rewind? You're not being who you want? What? And the whole room just kind of stopped. This is a little bit embarrassing because I remember what we were talking about, but my face getting a little red. I remember the moment when I felt like this is out of control. Like this can't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. And my body's just redlining. I was just physically agitated. I would love if everyone just threw in their thoughts and this could be a discussion. I have on record for replays for people, so we're not just going to pop on and talk, but these comments are really awesome. So that was what I said. And here's what's recommended is I feel like this noise is getting louder and I need a minute. Can we just reset for a minute? And then that reminds you to reset. And it actually gives everyone what are they going to do? Like, no, we talk about this now. And you just say, okay, I promise I will. Just give me a second. And you just really keep digging in for just like needing a moment because your biology is freaking out and you don't have access to your brain at that moment if it's still freaking out. So if you lose your clear thinking and you lose your purpose and you lose what's going on inside of you to what's outside of you, you just need to like, this is the micro moments where we can reset. And again, nothing's broken. It's your biology doing its job. When you see threats and danger and everything and you're piling things onto yourself, it's just a fight or flight situation where your emotions are going to rise and your adrenaline's going to rise and it's going to be for survival. It's not going to feel very good. But taking that moment, a comment here, it's cool because when you say, hold up, let's rewind and reset, it already changes the mood of the room and yourself, kind of stopping that hard buzzing feeling. Yes. Once you have eyes on it, once you say it out loud, it does interrupt it. And I think that's the most beautiful part. And by you staying regulated, the room must recalibrate. Isn't it brilliant? Like you're standing up for something that you know you need inside, and the whole room has to shift because you did that. So I talk about leadership a lot, and I don't think people understand like leadership is the one skill that the parents don't realize they need. It's not just the CEOs, it's not just the people in high stakes situations. Like your leadership skills lead your personal life, it leads your home, it leads your relationship, it leads your kids, it leads your schedule, right? Just taking charge of that, taking it to the next level of really guiding yourself. Others are guided in that. What kind of an example do you think it is if you have kids and everybody's yelling and you become the calm and the non-reactive and you say, hey guys, this is getting out of hand, like we need a minute? How inspiring is that for your kids to see that you had such great ownership in that moment that you could notice the tone of the room and do something about it at that moment? It's life changing. So say things like, "Oh, I feel like I'm spinning. I need a moment. If you'll excuse me, please, I'll be back in a minute." Or can we hit the reset button for 60 seconds? It would kind of, it's nice to say the word reset, although you don't have to say, obviously I said rewind and it worked. And this was before I came to actually put this and compile this into these micro resets methods. I was already doing it. And when it dawned on me that I don't need this whole big long lesson, I could just try it in the little moments. The hardest part was remembering. Because when my emotions were high, like good luck remembering this 10-step process or the 30 days of journaling you just did. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Go ahead and learn it. But in that moment, when it all goes out the window, what if all you needed to do was notice and say it out loud? That's the little micro moment that I want you to seize. I want you to take a hold of it and I want you to do something with it. Having the implementation of that, specifically in conflict, gave them space too. It gave them permission to check in with themselves too. If we mirror each other and we're all about mirroring, wouldn't they mirror that too? A comment here, I feel like that's what everyone wants, is that person to be calm amidst the chaos. Because these days we all feel overwhelmed. Yes. Yes, we all feel overwhelmed. So seeing that, saying that helps everyone in the room. And if people are offended because, oh, yeah, now you want to shut down now that you've got to say what you wanted to say. No, everybody will get a chance to say what they want to say. We just need a minute. Like it's real good leadership. All right. And it happens in this little 60 seconds. That's all it takes is 60 seconds. And what you're going to do is something like we did on the beginning of the call. You're going to inhale twice and exhale once really long. And you're going to feel the tension in your body drop because now that your brain has gotten all the information and your body's gotten agitated, like we're going to take a second so we can get back to that brain that thinks really clearly and can say something very articulately and thought out and intentional and on purpose. So we're going to bring you back to the present moment. All right. I'm moving away from teaching most stuff more towards a guided implementation. So I want you to think of having a specific conversation where you felt that high frequency, like that buzzing, that frequency of just it being noisy inside of you. Take a second and think like, when was that? When was the last time you felt like that? Oh, just Ah, I want you to go there in your mind. Think of that specific conflict that you had. When in that conflict would you have applied this phrase? Rewind, reset, say whatever you want. It's all the same to give it space to breathe. And by not doing more, but by doing less, have it reset. Because we could jump on it, we could attack it, we could change it, we could argue with it and try and convince it, and all of it's going to exhaust you. These are your energy leaks. If we think it comes from something, it doesn't. Wasting money and energy trying to find a reset that doesn't overhaul and override my actual system, using my mind and my body. The one thing that separates you from your reactions is a decision. And if you look up the root of the word decision, it literally means to cut off anything that's unnecessary. And all those words, all that arguing has never been necessary. So what you're going to do is you're going to notice this is going somewhere that is not necessary. This is not what solves this problem. Space does, doing less does, talking later does. Simple, small things do, not the big, grandiose things. I'm not dragging everybody's butt to therapy for the next 20 sessions. That didn't work for me. I didn't need to go back into the past. I needed something to interrupt right now so I could move into my future with ease. So I could move into my future with intention and repair my relationships. And those happen in those little moments. How many times a day could you reset yourself? Not having interaction with anyone. Just say, whoo, I can feel myself buzzing. I need a second, and take a breath. If you did it 3 times a day, I'm going to suggest 7 to 10 times a day. You'll get the maximum impact from these little resets. If you just check in with yourself, ask yourself, like, how are we doing? What are we thinking right now? Is this necessary? Is this where the answer comes from? Is this the most important thing? Because I promise you, scrolling is just an escape and it will be there when you get back. But setting down your phone and thinking to yourself, like, why do I want to escape right now? And if I was more calibrated, would I need an escape? It's not about your behavior. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just about redirecting and refocus. And I'm going to tell another story now. So if you had a flashlight and whenever you felt agitated, you've got this flashlight and you're like zoning in on something. Say it's the mess in the corner that's been sitting there and all the other things that need to be done and the whiny kid, or there's tons of things to be taken care of. And it could just be adding and adding and adding onto you. You're shining this light on everything that needs to be done and everything that needs to happen. Well, it's overwhelming. Now your body feels agitated because your mind has gone there and you've added so many things to your plate at that moment, and you can't possibly do them all at once because you're thinking about them all at once. It frightens you, it scares you, and you don't like the way you feel inside. All right? What I want you to do is take that light of your focus, whatever you're focusing on, and put it right back in your own self. I want you to take that big, bright, shiny light that's pointing out all the little details and all the crap that's in front of you that you just are fixated on and obsessed with and getting agitated about, and you turn it right back on yourself. And when you do this, it brings to light what's happening inside of you. And that's where it's found. That's where the reset is. You could go do all of those things, and I promise you, you will still find more to be agitated with. But when you become the person that is capable of resetting, of lessening the agitation, of not needing the mountains or the forest or to get that, whatever it is, like, what do you assign your reset to? A calm and quiet house? Like, are you waiting till tomorrow when the kids go to school? Do you assign it to the cleanliness of the house? Do you have to work for the next 3 hours in order to have it? Or can you have a reset now? And does it come from within? What if you were reset as you were doing it? What if you took one thing at a time? What if you used a tiny little moment to bring it back to yourself and say, I'm going to calm my body and my mind right now down. And instead of asking, like, if you're in a conflict, then it involves people. But if you're not in a conflict, if you're just loading things onto yourself, then that's also something that you need to reset. So these little tiny moments of checking in, like, am I loading a lot of things on you right now? Like, because there's nobody here. There's no reason for us to be this upset. We have a great life. Like, we don't need some big, fix. We just need to find some peace inside. And so these energy leaks are this is piling on this and this and this, and all of it's our focus. So if we turn our focus right back onto us, then we notice, I've depleted myself. I no longer have energy. And shifting this way of thinking is what I do. And I highly suggest that I don't like the word lazy. Like if anybody's like, oh, this is the lazy way to do it, I'm out. Because I've conditioned myself that doing more is the way to get there. But I've been highly advised not to use the word lazy. The religious goers out there don't like it. I know, the high achievers out there don't like it. Don't ask me to be lazy. There needs to be more get done. But what if I told you that laziness may sound idle, but it's just bringing it back to the things that are small that really matter? All the little tiny moments. You don't need some big, long weekend with your kids to connect with them. 5 minutes or less of your undivided time and attention with your phone away does that. Can you hear me asking you to do less? It's so hard because we think it's in doing more. And if I do this, and then I got to do this, and then I got to do this, and now your system's overloaded. But you can tackle more, repair better in the middle of chaos when you are reset inside, and you can reset yourself whenever you need, and you don't ever let it get too far. So picture yourself with this kind of self-mastery. These coaching tools that I've curated, it's given me self-mastery that comes from within, and I decide that I am not only calm when the things are all put away. I can be calm now. I've seen this with so many with objects. I've seen it with a to-do list. I've seen it with health and fitness and eating. I've seen it with crazy kids and neurological issue kids. And decision just means cutting everything else that's no longer necessary. Because what we're managing outside of us isn't as important as what we're managing inside of us. So when we refocus, it increases our time. Think of all the things you wouldn't have to revisit, right? If we can level ourselves throughout the day using these micro resets as often as I'm saying, and we can remember to do it, put a note in your phone, have you reset today? Then it would no longer be necessary to keep revisiting all the times that you looped and that thing that's still sitting there and the stuff that's still going. You would probably just go pick it up because you weren't overloaded and shut down. You'd feel reset. You'd feel rejuvenated. You'd just go pick the thing up. You'd feel reset and rejuvenated. You'd just go hug your kid instead of begrudging or resenting. Resets are real. And resets don't need some big glamorous thing to happen. They just need you to decide. They just need you to cut off what's not important. Behavior and grades are not important. My connection with you is. Right? Cleanliness, I love it, but it is not as important how your partner cares about their health, right? I mean, these things are random, but these are things that is brought to coaching all the time. Do you have resentment that you could probably clean up? Is that not a judgment that distances you from them? Like we come up with the silliest reasons that we can't have peace and joy in our life. We just hand it over easily and so quickly. So be onto yourself a little bit. There are so many times that you think it's coming from somewhere else and it's coming from inside. Think of how much energy you save. That's an energy leak to keep on spinning in the problem. Get back to a calm state where you can access your problem solving instead of ruminating and spinning out, building resentments, causing disconnections and distance. I think what we could do with these resets and these little micro moments saves us time and energy because we won't be revisiting the same issues over and over. The last thing I'll say is when this comes to relationships and relational, do you realize that changing them is a waste of energy? Because a lot of coaching, I would say, when someone's trying to change someone else. But when you shift your 50% of the relationship, the whole room physics change and they now take ownership of their side. They don't want to be the crazy person. They don't want to be the one that's the problem. They actually have a minute to self-reflect because you offered it to them. So every time you have a choice to make, do you want to be right? And do you want to be convincing? Do you want to be controlling? Or do you want to evolve? and have everyone in the room evolve. Arguments are just an invitation to keep the chaos going or to opt out for something that's more important, like solution. I hope you were able to think of a specific conflict that you could apply the phrase to. I feel like I'm spinning. I need a minute. Or it's getting really loud in here. Everybody just a minute. Can you be that leader? Can you tap into something that's really powerful like that? Can you take those little tiny moments and realize that what you're doing most of the time isn't working because resets don't come from that? What do you see one of your energy leaks being? One of your energy leaks may be hanging on to grudges or focusing on things that outside of me, right? Handing my joy to something not being done. Because I love efficiency so much. I feel love and accomplishment when I'm efficient. I'm assigning all of my calm, steadiness to when blank and blank is done. What are you giving away your peace to? Those are your energy leaks. You'll need to get really clear on what a reset is for you. And you'll be able to see it and you'll know. I'm not asking you to do anything other than notice. I'm not asking you to do anything other than check in. And these moments that you're going to take leadership of your life and leadership of your mind will change the outcome of everything around you. You'll be amazed at how little it takes to get yourself to do things when you're reset on the inside. You'll be amazed at how organized you can be on the outside and how much closer and better your relationships and connection are on the outside when you change your thinking on the inside. So if this was really the answer, a lot of people feel too vulnerable. I think a lot of people don't get coaching because it just feels like, I know I'm doing it all wrong. I just need to do better. I need to do more. No, that's not it. It's literally doing less in the right way. It makes everything more enjoyable. If it never was about that, it was about what's inside you, do something about it. I know on April 7th, I'm doing the second part of this. We've talked about the first 60 seconds. We're going to talk about 5 minutes because that reaches them with more impact. The first 60 seconds, man, it's going to do a lot. You could just do this and not come to the next one and you'd be just fine because this is where it's at. I promise you, this is what starts my whole journey. But April 7th at 1 p.m., I'm going to do part 2, and part 2 takes you deeper. Part 2 takes you into implementation of the 5 minutes that reaches them. I have a retreat coming up that dives deep into this. It's in Nordic Valley, Utah. It's a total system upgrade. We're talking about the little moments when you get to this retreat, from the second you get there to the second you leave. I handle everything, and every little moment builds on the next to give you a total system upgrade. I've had retreats before and it was fun and it was activities. This is very different. This is very different because you leave having the skills to not go back to being the same. You could go anywhere on any vacation and any escape you wanted to and come back the same person, other than having an experience that was really nice. Why can't we feel like that all the time? Why can't we feel like we're on vacation all the time? But you can. You can feel like your home is a vacation. You can feel like you're retired when you're not. You can feel like an empty nester when the kids are crying at your feet. It's up to you and it's up to what happens in your mind. I like to get down to business. Hopefully, I've repeated myself enough times during this that you can have what you needed out of it and shine your flashlight on things that you'd like your attention on and what matters most. And do the laziest way to reset ever. Just have your mind on it. Spend moments, set reminders in your phone if you need. It is a repetition thing that lands this. So use little micro moments. I suggest 7 to 10 times a day. But if you only did it once, you'd still get there. Okay? It's not about having more to do. I'm so grateful for everyone that attended. And you know how to catch me on social media. Okay, I will see you April 7th. All right. Thank you all. Bye.